Now once again let us start the class ma. Now so in this class we are going to discuss about evolution in the gases exchanging system. So what is gases exchanging system? On the whole class we have understood that gases exchanging system is nothing but respiration to release energy. Okay, so what is evolution? What does evolution mean? Sir? There is a change when an organism is developing. When an organism is developing, there are a number of changes happening in its body. That is termed as what? Evolution. There are a number of changes happening in the bodies. Okay, now if you take fish, fish will have only 2 chambers, whereas frog will have 3 chambers, and when a human being comes, he has having 4 chambers. Okay, this is called evolutionary change. In your higher classes, you will come to know about this. And what is happening regarding this respiratory system? Gases exchanging system. So, due to evolutionary changes, there is development of this gases exchanging system also. So, here 2 types of organisms are there, single cell and multicellular organisms. All the organisms with one single cell are called as what? Unicellular or single cell. All the organisms who are designed with more number of cells are called as what? Unicellular or multicellular? Multicellular. Okay. Now, when you come to single cell cells like amoeba, okay, or else if you take multicellular organisms like hydra and planaria, all these organisms will undergo respiration through a process called diffusion. What is that? Diffusion. What is diffusion? In your 9th class you have studied about diffusion. Movement of molecules from higher concentration to lower concentration is diffusion. Lower concentration to higher concentration is osmosis. Now, basing on the principle of movement of molecules from higher concentration to lower concentration, that is diffusion, they will exchange the gases. Okay, so when the surrounding, when you take amoeba, the gas present outside oxygen is more than inside the body. Movement of molecules from higher concentration to lower concentration will happen, and oxygen gas will diffuse into its body. Now, the carbon dioxide produced inside is greater than the carbon dioxide present outside. Obviously, what will happen? The gas will diffuse outside. So, oxygen is entering in and carbon dioxide is coming out, basing on the principle called diffusion. What is that process called, ma? Diffusion. So, almost hydra, planaria, amoeba, almost all the unicellular organisms and few multicellular organisms are undergoing a process called diffusion for the process of respiration. For the process of what? Respiration. Now, when you come to multicellular organisms especially, other than hydra or planarian or anything else, when you come to multicellular organisms, they are designed with special organ in them for process of respiration. So you all know, when you take a human being, we have special organs for digestion, we have special organs for respiration, we have special organs for excretion, we have special organs for circulation, we have special organs for all the processes happening in our body. Now, when you take the example of respiration in all the multicellular organisms, it doesn't mean that all the multicellular organisms. If you take a plant, it is also a multicellular organism. If you take an animal, it is also a multicellular organism. If you take a human being, it is also a multicellular organism. But all these multicellular organisms will not have the same process of respiration or will not have the same respiratory organ. We have lungs for our respiration. It doesn't mean that plant also will have lungs. No. It doesn't mean that fish also will have lungs. No. We cannot say that cockroach is having a lung. No. That means by this we can understand that several kinds of multicellular organisms are present. Everyone has its own style. Has its own style of what? Respiration. Has its own style of respiration. So for that process has its own style of respiratory organ also. Okay, so now when you take different animals, these will have different types of respiration. Basing on what you know? Basing on the 3 factors called body size. It depends upon the size of the body. The respiratory organ differs from one organ to another organ basing on the size of the body. Basing on the size of the body. Availability of water. Water availability in the sense so many aquatic organisms are depending upon the dissolved oxygen present in the water. Okay, so the dissolved showing its effect on respiration means first one is body size, second one is availability of water, and the third one is circulatory system. So it depends upon the circulatory system, it depends upon the availability of water, and it depends upon the size of the body. It depends upon the size of the body. So basing on this body size, basing on the availability of water, and basing on the circulatory system present in that particular animal, the respiratory system has been classified into 4 types. How many types, ma? 4 types. 1, 2, 3, 4. Totally how many types? 4 types. Now first of all, first one is tracheal respiration. Tracheal respiratory system. The first system is what? Tracheal respiratory system. So if you please repeat after me, just to follow my pronunciation properly. The first system is tracheal respiratory system. The second one is bronchial respiratory system. Bronchial respiratory system. Second one is bronchial respiratory system. And the third one is cutaneous respiratory system. The third one is cutaneous respiratory system. And the fourth one is pulmonary respiratory system. So totally how many types of respiration you have? 4 types of respiration. Tracheal respiration, bronchial respiration, cutaneous respiration, pulmonary respiration. Now let us start about tracheal respiration. Detailed study of these respiration is not meant for your syllabus, but you have to see the difference between one organ to another organ, one organism to another organism in supplying energy to your body, in exchanging gas to your body, in supplying oxygen and diffusing out carbon dioxide. Now when you take tracheal respiration, almost all the insect kingdom, arthropoda, when you take cockroach, grasshopper, butterfly, all these are what? Insects. Okay, now all these insects are provided with the small tubes. What is that, ma? Small series of tubes. Number of tubes are present in their body. Okay, when you come to higher classes like intermediate, you will be having a dissection of cockroach. There you can find series of tubes. Number of tubes will be present called trachea, and trachea will be again divided into tracheal. They are provided with sporacles and they will exchange gases. That means through these tubes called trachea. Trachea will be divided into what? Tracheoles. Through these tubes, oxygen will enter inside. Carbon dioxide will come out of the body. As the supply of oxygen is through trachea, it is called as the which respiration? Tracheal respiration. Which respiration, ma? Tracheal respiration. So, if the respiratory organ is trachea, the respiration undergone by them is called as tracheal respiration. They ask you, what is the respiratory organ for tracheal system of respiration or tracheal respiratory system? You have to simply write it as trachea. The respiratory organ of tracheal respiration is trachea. Trachea will be divided into fine tubes called tracheoles, which are provided with sporacles, where the exchange of gases will take place. That means supplying of oxygen, taking out of carbon dioxide. Best example is what, ma? Almost all the insects. Now coming to the second one, bronchial respiration. What is that, ma? Bronchial respiration. Almost all the aquatic kingdom. Aquatic means the organisms living under water. Living in water comes under which group, ma? Aquatic ecosystem. They doesn't come under terrestrial group. They come under aquatic group. So almost all the water living bodies, okay, all of them comes under a special group called aquatic ecosystem, and they are provided with a specialized structure called gills. Gills, G-I-L-L-S, gills. Their respiratory organ is what? Gills. The best example for that is fish. So you all know that. Now I have mentioned you that the factor which is supplying energy for the body is availability of water. Now when you observe fish in the water, fish always closes, opens its mouth. Closes, opens its mouth. Okay, it always lowers its oral cavity like this. Okay, it closes, lowers, closes. So what is happening here? Water will rush inside its mouth. Water will rush inside its mouth. Immediately, when water rushes inside its mouth, the gill pouches present red in color. When you go to a fish market and if you observe them, okay, how you know how to test whether it is a good fish or a bad fish? Every Sunday, okay, what they will do? They will go to a fish market. Okay, how? Now, when you want to test whether it's a good fish or a bad fish, what will you do, you know? See, first of all, the scales should be very shiny. See, Mahuri Vanta going on here. Listen to the class properly. It's not a video class of biology. Mahuri Vanta, HNK Vanta. Listen to the class properly. They will have a shining body. All the scales, polusuntundi kada. So that will be very shiny. Second one, when you touch the fish, when you press the fish, their fingerprint should not be deposited on the fish. And when you open the oral cavity like this, there will be a gill pouch. Okay, big gill pouch. Okay, so there will be a gill pouch like this. It will be having a red in color. They should be very, very red in color. They should be very, very red in color. Then it is fresh fish. Okay, now when you observe these gill pouches, when you open the fish mouth like this, every time when the fish is living in the water, always it lowers its oral cavity. Now water will be rushed into this gills. That gills will be bathed away means snanam chesinappudu manaku emutundi, the full body is covered with water. Like that the fish gills are being covered by this water. So availability of water in the water, what is present? Dissolved oxygen is present. That oxygen will be trapped by this gills, and these gills will directly send it to the each and every cell of the fish, each and every tissue of the fish. This is the process of bronchial respiration. And third one is cutaneous respiration. Which respiration, ma? Cutaneous respiration. Best example is earthworm, leech. If you touch them, they will be very sticky. Their body is provided with pores like this, and this pores will make the gas called oxygen to directly diffuse into the body through skin. As the skin is the respiratory organ, we are calling it as what respiration? Cutaneous respiration. Now we understood, ma'am? First of all, if trachea is the respiratory organ, the respiration undergone by them is tracheal respiration. If gills are there undergoing respiration their respiration is bronchial respiration with the help of gill pouches. They are provided with bronchia. Next one is cutaneous respiration. If the respiration is undergone through skin, it is called as which respiration? Cutaneous respiration. And finally, all our bodies, birds, reptiles, all of us are provided with a special organelle cord. Already you have studied in your previous videos that our respiratory organs are lungs. If lungs are our respiratory organ, the respiration undergone through lungs is called as pulmonary respiration. Which kind of respiration, ma? Pulmonary respiration. So if the respiration undergone through lungs, exchange of gases takes place through lungs. So in our body, if you take, we will start our journey with what? Nose, nostrils, nasal cavity, pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi, bronchioles. Bronchioles will be open into lungs. Okay, the right bronchi will open into right lung and the left bronchi will be open into left lung. Okay, so these lungs are our respiratory organ. So which kind of respiration is our respiration? Means it is what? It is what? Pulmonary respiration. Pulmonary respiration. So how many kinds of respiration totally? 4 kinds of respiration. Almost all the birds, reptiles, mammals comes under this category. But when you take frog, you know that frog is an amphibian. It can live both on land and water. It will lead an aquatic life and also a terrestrial life. When it is leading a terrestrial life, it will undergo through lungs. When it is leading an aquatic life, basing on the circulatory system, the respiratory system also changes. Respiration also changes from one organism to another organism. It differs from one organism to another organism. So totally how many kinds of respiration, ma? 4 kinds of respiration. Tracheal respiration through trachea, bronchial respiration through gills, cutaneous respiration through skin, and pulmonary respiration through lungs. Okay, ma? So meet you back in the next class with respiration in plant.